Hey guys, that's right here, and I was so right. 11 cards are being balanced in the May update and prepare for a Fury Dragon themed Season 11. All that and more in today's episode of Clash World. Hey guys, that's right here, and welcome back to another episode of Clash Worlds. In this weekly show, we take a look at the most recent announcements from the Clash Royale team, the hottest topics in CR eSports, as well as what's going on in the community. Then, we'll finish off the episode by breaking down the meta and featuring my off-meta deck of the week. If you're enjoying Clash Worlds, then please leave a like down below and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Also, check me out on my socials, links down below. And if you'd like to support me in game, be sure to use code Legendaray in the shop. And with all that out of the way, let's get right into it. New in the Arena is where we find out about what the Supercell team has been up to this past week. Of course, with the start of each month, there is obviously a new season. This month, we have Here Be Dragons, which I personally think is a season made just for me. But hey, who am I to say? Anyways, this season begins on Monday, May the 4th, and obviously comes with the classic season regulars, a beautiful Season 11 arena, and a stunning set of tower skins. I honestly think that the dev team has just nailed it over and over again these past few months on those visuals, because man, I love this arena. There are also 4 new emotes for the season, one of which you will get for free to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Supercell themselves. 3 other emotes are also pretty cool as well, so you guys will have that to look forward to. In addition, the Electro Dragon is going to be the card level boost for the season, so hey, some of you may have a chance to try out this dragon for the very first time. Next up, of course, this new season has a brand new set of balance changes, and guess what? 11 cards are being balanced in this update, just like I predicted in the previous Clash Worlds episode. In fact, of those 11 cards, I was actually able to predict 8 of those changes. Not bad, right? So hey, for the quickest news information, be sure to subscribe down below and hit that bell to get notified of when I upload. These changes will go into effect on Tuesday, May the 5th. Which is, as usual, one day after the season begins. Anyways, there are some pretty major changes, so let's get right into it. Tornado rework. Duration minus 50%. Pull strength plus 100%. Damage per second plus 100%. Now damages buildings. So of course, the Tornado is receiving a really major rework. It's going to last half the duration, so only 1 second instead of the previous 2 seconds, but it's going to pretty much double every other stat. Pull strength doubled, damage per second is doubled, and it actually will damage buildings. Just like most spells deal 35% of their total damage to crown towers, the Tornado will do the exact same. Now this is a major change because a lot of splashers used to really rely on the Tornado to group those units together for a long time. However, now with the Tornado only lasting 1 second, the splash units won't get as much value. In addition, the Miner and the Hog Rider will have more safe spots, and it's just going to overall be a lot harder to activate the King's Tower. In my opinion, the Tornado is still going to be used, it's just not going to be used in combination with splash cards as much. Royal Delivery. Damage increased 27%. Now, the Royal Delivery obviously is a card that does not see any usage at all. Even when it was the card level boost for this season, people still were not using this card. So it was evident to the dev team that a buff was going to be needed. So obviously 27% is a large increase in damage, and it's actually almost going to be enough to straight up one-shot a Magic Archer, which is actually really crazy to think about. However, I still think that 3-second deploy time is going to be a major bottleneck to players deciding to actually run this card. So I think over time, this might actually make a difference as players who try the Royal Delivery begin to kind of actually adjust to that 3-second deploy time. Baby Dragon. Hit points minus 8%. So yes, as much as I hate to admit, the Baby Dragon has continued to be one of the highest used and highest win rate cards in the game. So of course a hit point nerf does just the trick. It's not too much of a hit point nerf, but it's definitely substantial enough to be noticeable. The Baby Dragon will still be able to survive an equally leveled lightning, but that hit point decrease is definitely going to be a big hit to any decks running the Baby Dragon. Magic Archer, range increased from 6 to 7, hit points minus 10%. So, as Seth has said, they realized that the Magic Archer range decrease was not the way to go. So instead, they're going to try something completely different. They're giving him the range back, but this time, the Magic Archer is going to be a little bit weaker. That way, it's going to be a little bit more like the Dark Goblin and the Firecrackers of the world, and obviously will still have a lot more HP than them, but it's kind of heading towards that direction. Battle Healer, hit points minus 10%. So yes, again, another change that Seth has said that they had been looking into. This decrease in hit points will make the Battle Healer a little bit less oppressive on the arena. You know, once that Battle Healer locks on and just starts hacking away and deploying all those heal spells, it can really get annoying. So the decreased hit points is going to help remedy that just a little bit. Mini P.E.K.K.A. Melee range reduced from medium to short. So the Mini P.E.K.K.A. with another really well-deserved nerf. It's been one of the highest used cards in the game. As a card that was supposed to just be a tank killer, it became like an offensive pressure unit as well, as the fast movement speed made it actually very, very deadly when your opponents did not have proper counters in hand. Therefore, by making that Mini P.E.K.K.A. range from medium to short, the Mini P.E.K.K.A. is actually going to have to walk almost an extra half tile before it can actually lock onto any unit. This still leaves him very, very effective against tanks, but as an offensive pressure unit, it's going to make him a lot weaker. Goblin Cage, Goblin Brawler damage plus 6%. So this one I didn't quite expect, but I do quite like it. I think the Goblin Brawler change was also partially meant to be a bit of a substitute for the Mini P.E.K.K.A. as well, but all in all, an increased Goblin Brawler damage means that it's going to be more effective on defense, and with a couple of nerfs that I'm about to go into, this card could definitely find a spot in the new meta. Earthquake, damage plus 11%, building damage minus 25%. So the Earthquake is basically now a medium spell. With this change, it's actually going to do more crown tower damage than the Fireball, but obviously with the reduced building damage, the Earthquake is definitely going to be a lot weaker against buildings. However, you might be worried that, spawners are going to be everywhere with the Earthquake nerfed, but don't worry, because we got 3 more balances this season. Furnace, hit points minus 16%. Oh man, the Furnace getting a nerf. I completely did not expect this one. Obviously, it's just a hit point nerf, so that's going to make it a lot weaker to spells, but it's still going to be just as potent when left ignored. All in all, I think this Furnace nerf could possibly be setting up a Fire Spirit buff in the future, but hey, who am I to say? Goblin Hut, hit points minus 35%. This is a massive nerf for the Goblin Hut. The Goblin Hut is actually now going to be one-shot by an equally leveled lightning. Obviously, it's still going to spawn those 3 spear goblins, but I mean, this hit point nerf is definitely going to make it a lot less oppressive on the arena and a lot weaker to your opponent's spells. Spells like Poison and Fireball can get a lot of value against the Hut, meaning that you won't need that Earthquake as much anymore. Barbarian Hut, hit points minus 20%. So the Barbarian Hut was another spawner that just can become super duper oppressive in the arena. So by keeping all of his stats the same and just straight up decreasing the hit points, it's still going to be a very, very tanky building, but obviously Supercell's chopping off 1/5 of his hit points. So that's definitely going to make the card at least a little bit less effective. So there we go, all the changes coming with this update. There are definitely a lot of changes, so I'll sum up all the balances here on screen. If you're interested, you can do a quick pause and read over them. If not, then whatever. All in all, I'm actually really happy with these balances. They've pretty much hit every card that I wanted them to hit, and all in all, I'm really looking forward to trying out all these new cards in the new meta. Of course, we also know a few tidbits on what's coming in Clash Royale's next major update, which is looking like a Clan Wars rework. However, I went over that in my previous video, so for the sake of not repeating myself too much, check out that video after this one to get that info. Anyways, now that's going to do it for New in the Arena. Let's get right into the eSports update. The eSports update is a section where we go over recent eSports events as well as new and rising pro players. This week, the regular season for CRL East has officially ended. But first off, check out this crazy CRL East intro. Alright, if that's not the coolest thing you've ever seen, I don't know what is. Anyways, playoffs for CRL East start on May 9th, and it's a double elimination bracket where every team has a chance to make it to the championship. Be sure to catch those streams if you're interested. I'll link the CRL East channel down below. Anyways, now that we're caught up on the most recent esports news, let's check out the rising rumors. So first up today, we have a very interesting clip submitted by Aaron Sheehan on Reddit. And if you look at this bandit that the opponent plays here, both the fisherman and the wizard target it. So the fisherman gets a really long range, and then the wizard gets a really long range as well. I mean, I just love these kind of quirky interactional ranges. I could just watch this one all day, I'm gonna be honest with you. Next up, we've got an interesting post by Shadow Plague XX about the history of Clash Royale. As you can see, we have the early hype area, the Great Collapse, the Golden Era, which I believe is the introduction of 2v2 in seasons, desperate attempt to restore the balance, the long decline, the Dark Age, Pass Royale, Lamau, and then we are where we are at the moment, waiting for the next major update. Supercell, where is the next update? I mean, I'm actually going to be honest here. On the creator end, we actually now know a little bit about what's coming in this next update, and I'm going to say, you guys are in for a treat when this update actually drops. Anyways, now that we've covered the trending topics in the community, let's go ahead and break down the meta. Now, of course, with balances coming into effect Tuesday of next week, I'm going to be making my prediction on how this balance will affect the meta. Now, of course, with 11 cards being balanced, that's over 10% of the cards in the game. So I'll do my best to highlight some of the biggest changes that I'm expecting. Graveyard. Graveyard is going to take a hit in this meta for sure, with Goblin Hut, Tornado, and Baby Dragon all receiving pretty decent nerfs. It's going to be a lot harder to use. This deck relies really heavily on using that Tornado on both defense and offense, because it actually doesn't have much major DPS, and it relies on the Tornado clumping those units together for a long time in order for the splash units to get value. Earthquake and Buildings. The Earthquake, Goblin Hut, Barb Hut, and Furnace will all definitely see decreases in usage. Furnace already wasn't used in the meta at all, so maybe this Furnace nerf is a precursor to a Fire Spirit rework in the future. Anyways, with less buildings obviously leads to less Earthquakes seen, which could also lead to a slight rebound in Expo popularity, as now with that slightly reduced building damage, Expo will be a lot more effective against those Earthquake decks. Royal Hogs. With a lot of splashers nerfed, Royal Hogs will be very popular, which can also lead to the bomb tower becoming a top building this meta. Royal Hogs being popular also means that Heal Spear is going to be very popular, and it also means that Magic Archer may see a rebound in these decks, as that increased range will mean that he's viable once again, meaning that those Fireball bait decks are going to see a return. Aside from those changes, I don't actually expect that much more. We obviously have those control decks and minor cycle decks, but not too many of those decks will be affected as drastically by this set of balances. Anyways, that's the meta for you guys. Now let's check out the off-meta deck of the week. That's right, in each Classroom episode, we're going to be featuring one off-meta deck that works in the current meta. This week's deck was submitted by Darren CR, and it's a very interesting variation on the Balloon Freeze deck. It's a bit more expensive, but that just means it has a little bit more power. So obviously with this deck, you're gonna mostly be chilling in single elixir, you know, just kind of defending, waiting for your opponents to make the first move, and if they use one of their major air counters, then just go ahead and balloon opposite lane. The Freeze is a really fun card to play, and I generally like to hold it until a very important moment as a surprise card. So all in all, again, just kind of chill out in defense. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and hop right into a match. Alrighty, so looks like this match here is going to be against Yoi So Yo from the clan Seattle. So good luck to this guy. And starting off here, pretty chill starting hand. And okay, so unfortunately not the best hand to defend a Hog Rider, but Mega Minion should be fine. Hopefully hold the Hog to just 2 hits. And let's see here, we're gonna hold out and see what he's got to finish that off. Looks like he's gonna go in with a Baby Dragon, so I'll just go in with a Baby Dragon of my own. They should just kind of cancel each other out. And then we're going with a Night Witch here, followed up by a Tesla here. It's a bit of a higher Tesla, but it should be fine. And yeah, all in all, that push basically shut down. He might go into the Hog again, but that's just gonna leave me open to actually use a Lumberjack on it, and then I can kind of use that Lumberjack on a counter push with a Balloon. So let's see here. I'm just going to go with a Lumberjack in the back. Okay, nope. I was kind of predicting a Hog there, but looks like that didn't work. But yeah, let's actually go in right here with a Balloon. And hopefully that with that Freeze, we can get into here. The Lumberjack can take out that bowler right there, and yeah, there we go. We're gonna once again just plop in a Mega Minion, and then we obviously have that Raged Balloon on the tower, so that tower is basically going down. The Mega Minion should hopefully walk up and take out that stuff. The Bandit's gonna unfortunately get a lot of damage on our tower, but I think we're just gonna have to take it. Actually, that was a bad move on my part, because now I have to spend elixir to defend the Baby Dragon, defend his Inferno Dragon. So I mean, my tower's basically down at this point, so I guess we just need to try and take out his second tower. Yeah, heading towards double elixir time. Let's see how this will play out. So starting off, we're just gonna go in, let's see, with a Night Witch here, and see exactly how he plans on supporting his push. So we're going to go with a Lumberjack and then a Tesla right here. And yeah, that should be fine. Then we'll go in with a Mega Minion as well, making use of that Rage spell. It's going to be very effective. And also that Raged up Tesla is going to be very effective. And yeah, there we go. That Bandit shouldn't get a dash on the tower. Okay, looks like we're good there. It got really close there, but here we're just going to straight up freeze. And the Mega Minion and the Baby Dragon should take out that Executioner. Balloon's going to once again get some damage on the tower. And if he doesn't have a big spell, we're actually going to take this match. So we're going to go with the Tesla in the center, Mega Minion just to, you know, just to decrease that damage that Baby Dragon does. He's getting desperate here. He's going to go in with a bowler at the bridge, but, I mean, okay, well, it looks like my tower's going down. Let's actually see if we can, you know, get a little sneaky there, force out some arrows on his end. And, yeah, 3 seconds left. Does he have arrows? I thought he had arrows. Oh my god, my tower is actually going to have 6 HP. Okay, so, I mean, we didn't play that very well, but definitely a fun deck to play, and I would definitely recommend you guys give this deck a try. So there we go, guys. That was the off-meta deck of the week. Of course, if you want to submit your own deck to be featured, feel free to leave it down below. But unfortunately, guys, that's all I've got time for in today's episode. If you enjoyed, please leave a like down below, as well as a subscription to my channel. And as always, this is Legendaray, and I'm signing off. See you guys next time.